Welcome back to another episode of Land Stories Live. I am your host, Dave Deniston of Generation Family Properties, where our goal is to help hundreds of people like you own land. And most of all, we want to tell your land story. So in this episode today, I have Kristy back with me. Hey, Kristy.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day out here in Minnesota. We're enjoying the summertime. The mosquitoes are out, you know, the state bird. So, well, I thought it'd be fun opening up today. I know you love horses. And,
I do.
And I wanted to tell you a quick story. So, my wife and I, my parents had blessed us with going to Jamaica for our honeymoon, right? So we get there, it's a great experience, and my wife does a dancing contest. And so she wins the dancing contest, and she gets a free horseback ride for us as part of it. And it was like on her birthday during our anniversary trip. So we get some horses, and she gets on her horse and everything goes fine. And this is the first time I've ever been on a horse. So I get on this beautiful white horse. We're on a beach in Jamaica, right? And I'm like, okay, what do I do? I've never done this before, right? And so the horse like starts bending down and eating grass. And I kick it and it doesn't do anything. I kick it again, it doesn't do anything. And so they finally like grab it and it goes like 6 feet and starts eating grass again. And then we go into the ocean and then it stops. and like this horse, like it knew I had no clue what the heck I was doing. So
of course they do. They know.
I would love to hear from you. You know, what's like a funny horse story, being like the horse expert. So a time someone, you know, maybe got like I did where I had no clue, or you know.
I'll give you one that one-ups yours, actually. So I have taught riding lessons forever and used to teach at other barns that have school horses. And the school horses are very much sound like this horse that you use. Like good old guys, awesome horses, but are very much kind of over it. They're like, you know what? I don't like these people that don't know what they're doing, and I'm done. So I'll tell you a quick story about two of them. One was this Appaloosa gelding, which is like the spotted, the white with typically the brown. Always stubborn, pretty much always. So he didn't eat grass. When he would get hot, he would go walk himself over to the water trough and get in it. When they were still on his back, he would just get in the water trough.
Just get in the water trough.
And then they'd, of course, it was always kids, you know, they'd be like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? And we would be like, just pull him left. We'd have to always go get him out because he would not let the kids. He would just stand there until we went and got him and pulled him out. And then we had another little pony that would just go when she would get hot. We always knew, don't let Millie get too hot and sweaty because she's a prima donna and she doesn't like to sweat. She'd go lay down in the middle of the arena. Just lay down in the dirt. And the kids would be like, what do I do? And we'd have to go, same thing, get her. Millie, get up. And then make her go. They're stubborn little things.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, when they want to do something, they're not going to do it. So after I was done, I have never had my backside hurt so bad. My poor little tush was hurting bad the next day. I couldn't move. And you got muscles you didn't even know you had, I'm sure.
I know, right? Well, this is wonderful things people can do on land. You can have horses. So
absolutely.
Let's talk about a property real quick. We have one of our favorite areas, an area in Otero County, New Mexico, which if you guys are looking behind me, what is this behind me? Well, this is the property we're going to be talking about today. So Kristy, why don't you walk us through this property and this area and talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, I will. So when you asked me today which property I wanted to go over, I specifically said this one because I thought if I don't do it today, I bet it won't be here next week because these things sell so fast because it's New Mexico with trees and mountains. So everybody loves it. So all the, the areas that are maybe more desert, they hear trees and they flock to it. So this is a 0.51, so just over half an acre. You can see the mountain in the background. That's the Sacramento Mountains back there that you see. And then Tiburon is where that is actually located in Otero County. And that is also bordered by the Lincoln National Forest. So that's why you get the mountains and the trees, and it's just absolutely beautiful.
Well,
All kinds of wildlife.
Why don't you share your screen and let's look at the website listing a little bit.
Yeah, let's see. So I've got to go. Oh, no, let me actually go to this one. Okay, and then tell me when you can see my screen here.
We can see your screen.
So this I just pulled up because I thought this was really cool. So I'll just go over this quick. All the animals, like I had no idea you could have black bears in New Mexico. I always assumed that was way further north. So
yeah, right.
Super cool. And then the average weather, I was looking that up too because I'm always curious. I always think of New Mexico. We talked about this last week, Arizona being hot.
Mm-hmm.
And even this month, August, which is supposed to be the hottest month, is actually only 83, I think is the average temperature. Like,
which
awesome.
The last person to last week bought one of the properties we had out there. They were down, I think near Las Cruces area, and it was like 110 degrees or something. And so they were so excited to have a property like this where you can cool down and be among the trees and not be boiling in the desert, you know?
Yeah, and it's not that far away. So I just wouldn't have guessed, which has been very educational for me also, that you can go to New Mexico and stay nice and cool. So anyway, thought that was interesting. So let's go over the website now. Enough of that interestingness. So the other thing that's been really popular about this area is that it's got power and water. So you're not actually off grid. You can go and you can, build a house. It saves you a lot of money when you have all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Go and build a little cabin, and as you can see in these pictures, you could, if you wanted to, build a cabin in the middle and nobody would know your cabin was there.
Yeah, right?
Among the trees and nobody would know you were there, which is so cool. Yeah, all those trees there. That's the video, I won't play that. And then the roads are really well maintained too. So there is a $30 per year fee that everybody in the association pays to maintain the roads, which is basically nothing. And then you get these awesome quality roads. So you don't have to have a 4x4 or a Jeep or ruin your car trying to get there. It's actually just a nice road.
Well, what I think is so interesting about this development is that there actually is not like an HOA, which has to like approve of your building plans. So some people get concerned, oh gosh, is this an HOA? Well, as a matter of fact, it's not. There's this road association, which helps to maintain some of the roads and general areas. But you just have to get the county building approval to build on your place. And you have the water association, which I think you have some details right down here below, Kristy.
Yeah.
It's just
the power lines are super close. Can you see on the screen? I think I can see it. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, the power lines are actually just down the street from this one. And then it's a one-time fee of $675 to hook up to the water lines that are already existing. And then it's $61 a year to maintain that water service. So for under $100 a year in fees between your water and your road, you get both, which is awesome and not expensive at all.
And I think the property taxes are super low on this too, right? How much are those?
Let me scroll down. They're so low. Yeah, less than $41.24.
$40 a year. $40 a year. That
so
is
$130 a year is all you're required to pay, which is just over $10 a month, $11 a month.
And let's why don't you look at the map? Let's look at the map, the Google map on this property, Kristy. Tell us a little bit about
you can see the area.
The immediate area around it.
Lots of green. That's what's immediately around it.
Right?
Yeah, it's not desert. Mountains and green. Oh, my computer's being so slow. Look at all that. Just trees, trees everywhere. You can see it's not overly developed by any stretch, but there's some neighbors there, some people. So you're not completely remote, but you're also not by, you don't have neighbors right next door. It's definitely not overly. I'm going to keep scrolling out just a little bit.
If you look on the left, go ahead and stop right there. That long strip is actually their little airport. So if by some chance someone listening to this has a private plane, you can access the airport there and fly right into your property, which ironically, they have an airport, yet there's, if you want to disconnect, there's no better place than this because there's no cell phone coverage up here at all, which I think is something really interesting. So if you're really wanting to get away and disconnect, what a fantastic place to do that.
It's a perfect excuse to say, no, I really cannot check my email. So
right?
I'll get back with you on Monday.
People out there actually have satellite phones. So if you live out there full time, you can still call people. You just have to have a satellite phone rather than like a cell phone.
Cell phone. That's interesting. I didn't even know that. So very cool. Very cool.
So you can see, there's not a whole lot of houses around, right? I mean,
there really aren't.
There are some. But
the photographer that took those pictures did say on the way in, they saw just a couple cabins, but that it was really quiet. And of course my computer's doing something weird now. Yeah, just super quiet and peaceful. So you're not gonna have a bunch of people riding around or making noise, or you can really get away and unplug officially.
Now let's keep scrolling. Let's keep scrolling out if you can. If your computer.
No, my computer just froze up for some reason. Do you see that? I don't know if you see the little wheel spinning.
I don't. Well, why don't you go ahead and stop sharing, and why don't I share my screen instead?
Yeah. Okay, I've stopped. So now you can take over and share away.
All right. I will share my screen, everybody. All right, so here's where Kristy was. Kristy, can you see my screen now?
I can, yes.
Okay. So here's the same thing. Here's that airport we were talking about. You can see there's a post office locally here. And let's see, what do we have here, Kristy? We got, I think this is the Lincoln National Forest more over this area, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, there's Lincoln National Forest. You can see the mountains and the topography. If you look over here to the west, it starts to be deserty, right? So here's all that desert we were talking about. Yeah, there's the Lincoln National Forest. So Cloudcroft is the nearest kind of quote unquote bigger city in the area that a lot of people might be familiar with. So to get to Tiburon, you actually can't go through the mountains this way. You usually go up here to Cloudcroft and go south. And our plan is to try and buy more land throughout this whole area because we just think it's so nice and beautiful and people love it. But we do have more properties that'll probably be coming in the future. Alamogordo is another kind of bigger city. You can see there's the Air Force Base. If you want to see the White Sands, that's a really cool area I went with to my folks. Have you ever been out there, Kristy, before?
I have not. No, I have not.
I mean, you better have some shades going out there because it's
white sand, I can imagine.
It's literally like huge dunes of white sand. It's really, really cool.
When you were there, I don't know if you can scroll a bit north. There's that Oliver Lee Memorial State Park too. And that looks absolutely beautiful. That's got some of the Sacramento Mountains. It's just it's just a little to the north.
A little further north still?
Maybe scroll back in a little. You might have actually, it's not that big, so you might have scrolled in too much.
I know Rio Doso is an area I hear about that's really popular as well.
And I've heard of that one too.
Well, so anyhow, I think that pretty well wraps it up for this property. Kristy, is there anything else think people should know about it? I have the listing pulled up here myself.
Yeah, I think looking at the pictures says it all. You just get trees and awesome weather, and you can build a small house, 900 square feet. That's something important to note. So it doesn't have to be by any stretch huge. It can definitely be a cabin. You can camp for up to 30 days without any water or sewer. And then if you want to live in an RV while you're building, you can do that for up to 180 days, as long as you get your water hooked up and your septic. Awesome. So I know a lot of people love to do that. They want to actually live there and watch the house being built, or maybe even build it themselves.
Yep.
So this would be a definite option to do that.
And one thing that I do want to make folks aware of, this is a half-acre property, and there's been, I know, Kristy, you ran into this and I ran into this regarding septic, that some people seem to be under the impression that you have to have a 1 acre lot to have septic. And I know you called, 3 or 4 people when we got our first property there a few months ago and confirmed that you don't. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember. So what it was it was a Facebook post, and somebody asked me. They said they had heard that that was the case, and I said, well, I don't know. I'll definitely check. So I checked, and it's not that you can't have a septic. It's just a different type of septic that they require for anything under an acre. There's a different type of system that routed it differently, is what they said. But you can definitely have a system, because there obviously is no city sewage out there. It's just not your typical septic. But the lady at the county was very nice and very helpful, and she said that everybody in that area knows exactly, like the companies that do the septics, they know exactly what kind to put in, what you can do. Like, they're very up to date with it too, because I think there's only 3, if I'm not mistaken, companies that kind of work in that general area. And she said all 3 of them, because I asked if she had, recommendation, is one better than the other, and she had said no, all 3 are really good. They all know the rules. They all, are very highly regarded with the county, so you can use any of them.
Perfect.
They point you in the right direction.
And so, folks, if you are interested in this property, you can see here we have a discount cash price of a little under $4,000. So you can buy the lot for about $4,000. Or if you want to finance it, have us finance it, the price is a little bit higher. So we're looking for a little under $5,000, and we're looking for a $249 document fee. So we're not looking for any equity to go into the property. So it doesn't take much to get started, just $249 down. And then we're looking for a minimum of $149 a month, which, if you refer back to one of our last episodes, we talked a little bit about owner financing. So make sure to look up a week ago from episode number 3, where I talked about the owner financing and how that works. So you can do more than this, and to pay it down quicker, you don't have to put down $249 and $149. Those are just the bare minimums that we are looking for. And Kristy, if anyone is interested in this property, what's the best way for them to contact you?
Oh, lots of ways. Call, email, text, whatever works. So call, it's 971-248-6715. Call or text that number, or you can email at sales@genfamproperties.com.
Genfamland.
I always do that. I always do that, because the contact one is that. genfamland.com. And I'll get right back with you. So
and what's that phone number one more time?
971-248-6715.
Perfect. All right, my friends. Well, that wraps it up for the episode today. I want you to tune in every Monday, 11:30 a.m. Central, or Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. Central. Just want to thank you so much for tuning into Land Stories with me, Dave Denniston, and Kristy. Make sure to check out all of our properties at www.genfamproperties.com, which is why Kristy got a little messed up there. Her email address has a different ending, but it all goes to the same place, genfamproperties.com.
And I emailed you, so I get that on my brain.
That's true. And if you're looking for land, I know Kristy would love to speak with you. And if you'd love to speak with her directly, Kristy, what's that number they can call you at one more time?
971-248-6715.
All right, you guys. Well, have a good one. Please reach out anytime, and we will talk to you later. Take care.
Bye, guys.